Hello everybody, I'm Stuart Covey, and in this video I'm just going to show you some of the basics of the Vectric VCarve Pro version 7.5. I'm just going to show you some of the basic overview, some of its basic functions, and then some of the advanced functions it has also. So this is the VCarve Pro version. It's the more simple version made for 2.5D. So 2D and 2.5D simple stuff. The Aspire version that Vectric also has is geared to 3D. Can do everything VCarve Pro can do, but it's got 3D capabilities. That's about, I think, almost 3 times the price of the VCarve Pro, so it's quite a bit more expensive. I hope to eventually be able to upgrade to that, but right now I'm just using the VCarve Pro and I'm extremely happy with it. I think it averages about $600 for a license, whereas the Aspire I think ranges about $2,600. So it's something you can upgrade. So you usually get the Aspire like down the road. Some people start out right with it, but it's not what I did. All right, so we have VCarve Pro here, and this is just the startup page. So we've got some of our previous projects. So I'll just open one and create one. So I'm just going to go and make a new one. And as soon as you go into the file, you're going to have the job size, the material thickness, and where you want the Z0 to be. You can have it below or on top of the workpiece. And then where you want the XY start off point to be, and your units. So it's just simple stuff here. Go 6x6. So once you're in here, you get to the design and stuff. But first, I want to show. See up here, you have different tabs. We've got the file operations where you can create a new one, open, save, all the basic stuff. Cut, copy. One thing you'll see up here, there's import vectors and there's import bitmap for tracing. Vectors is just basically if you want to import your design from another VCarve Pro file or even a DXF or any of those CAD design files. You can import them through this little icon here. You just be able to select any CAD file you have. So yeah, and then you have the import bitmap for tracing, and what that does is it if you want to trace, if you have an image or something that you want to be able to trace, because you want, say you have a picture of a flower or something, you want to trace around it, you would use this, and this is very simple. I'll just go and show that now. Or sorry, I'll show that later. Okay, so this is for importing bitmaps for tracing. That's for tracing around them. You can do that in this program. I'll show you how to do that later. First, let's just get to some of the basic functions. So we have our view control here, and this is, you've got your drag. This will just drag it around. And then you've got your zoom box, and this will zoom into a specific part of it. And then the next one, zoom to fit, will automatically bring it out to the project size. And then you've got the zoom selected. So if you have something selected, you just push that, and it'll zoom into it. And then you've got your different window views here. You can have your 3D view and your project view, just different stuff like that. And this just shows your toolpaths. Go back over here. See if we can get this back. Okay. Okay, so that's just some of the basic view functions. Change it around to what you like. And we've got layers. I'll get into that a little more later when we start actually putting some stuff on here. But this, you can create new layers, and so you have 2 layers. You can have a flower or something on one and the stem on the other. If you want to maintain them separately, you can shut one off and turn it back on. I'll show that a little more when we have stuff actually on the page. So now after that, we have our design basically functions, and this is where you create the vectors. Basically, you've got circles, ellipses, rectangles, all the different kinds of stuff, basic line. curves and stuff. So I'm just gonna go through a couple of these. We've got a circle. It's just basically you can click and drag, create as big as you want, or you can go over here and you can select where you want it. So we've got a 6x6 page here. If we wanted one right in the middle of this 6x6 page, we would say, okay, we're gonna want it at 3x and 3y. So that's gonna put it right in the middle of the page. You're basically building on a grid. So imagine this is a grid here, and you've got lines where all these little tick marks on the side here. So 3, 3 is going to put it right in the middle at 3, 3. So, and then you can size it diameter, radius. So let's say we're going to put it at a 1.4 inch radius. It automatically puts it in the middle of the project at the diameter you want it. So that's basic. And then we have ellipses. That's just basically you can stretch it out after you click, something like that. Or you can again do the same thing as with the circle, and you can set your width and height for the ellipse as well. So if we want a 4-inch height by a 4-inch width, 1-inch height, automatically sets it for you. So we have those. Now we're gonna next you've got rectangles. That's just simple. Draw a rectangle, or you can set it to the size you want it, just basic stuff. And then you can have curved edges, different types, or just a square. And then you've got your set things for width and height. So that's that. And all right, so then you've got your polygons and stars. This you can base again, it's just setting where you want it, number of sides, radius, simple stuff. So let's just do one of these here. I'll make it 7 sides, radius of 3 inches, and there you have it. And then with everything, hold on. So we can create another number of points where you want it, radius, and how big the points are, how wide and stuff they are. So the star. So another thing that you can select any of these and resize them just from here without having to go anywhere. So if you select it, a nice function on here is if you just click and drag to the left, it'll select any vectors that get over that little box. If you click and drag to the right, it's only going to select the vectors that get inside that box completely. So see, it doesn't get the circle or this shape over here, but it'll get the square because I put it completely in it. Or I go from the right to the left and it selects all 3 of them. Just basically like that. So if you want to resize these from here, you just click on it twice and you can just click and drag. You can drag it wherever you want. You can also use the arrow keys on the keyboard to move it around, fine tune it. So that's just, you just click twice, and you can also rotate them. Just the basic stuff. Let's see. All right, and then you've got your lines. You can draw a line, different points, etc. And then arcs. The way the arcs work is you just do it here, but the way I like to do it is you just do one point. Next point we want the middle of the curve to be, or where you want it to start to bend. And then wherever you place the third point is going to curve it. Wherever it's going to curve it along those 3 lines. So you got basic arc. And again, you can set everything manually if you have specific dimensions through here. And you've got curves, which if you have multiple lines, so if you want to convert some things to curves, you would click this one, and you basically, wherever you draw, it's going to create a curve out of it. So draw there, it's going to make a curve. And then you can end them. And now you have a weird shaped thing for drawing curves. All right, so after that, you've got text. That's just simple text. Let's go and delete some of these stuff. And you can just use the delete on your keyboard to delete anything. Um, okay, so then you've got your text. You type your text in your text box up here. So, and then you select your font. This works just like anything else where you can download the font, install it just on your computer, and it'll automatically show up in here. And then you can bold, italic it. Text height, that's how you set your size with the heights. So just go and say like 0.5. And then of course you got your anchor. You can set that wherever you want, but we're just gonna apply this. And it just sets it, as the font. So when you click anywhere on the words, the letters, they'll all go together. They'll all get selected. Sometimes if you want to actually edit the letter, you have to right click and you say convert to curves. That converts everything to basically a vector instead of just like they're basically grouped vectors when it comes out of the text. So to get them ungrouped, you have to convert them to curves. And see, now you can select one each at a time. Inner circle, outer circle. And now they're actually based upon their shapes instead of their letters. All right, and then you've got text within a box, and that just basically will put it inside a box at the same time. You've got your edit spacing stuff and curves. You can curve it along a circle or something. And it's the same thing, wrap text along a curve. And you convert objects to curves. So if you imported an object or something, you can import it to a curve right here, or convert it to a curve. So if I just had this, I'll do this here. Okay, so now they're back into text. Another way of doing it instead of right clicking is just clicking this, and now they're in curves. Now here we have our trace bitmap, and this is a very useful feature on here, because if you have a picture of something or a drawing of something, you can scan it and you can import it into VCarve Pro and trace it to convert it to curves basically. And that's done by clicking on this little folder up here. So if we can find a bitmap here, and see here we have one of a flower. We're going to open this up and it'll show up as an image in here. And then it's very simple. All you do now is you click your trace bitmap icon over here and you select the colors you want. You can either do it by color, just select which colors you want it to trace, or black and white, and this is just done by you drag it until it grays everything you want. So see, you don't want that, grays everything. You're not going to want the logo in the background there. So you're going to go down till just everything's starting to look right. That's too much. It looks pretty good there. And then you can set your fits down here. So if you want it to be tight up against it, it's going to show a lot of the pixels, but sometimes you might want that, so you put it all the way tight, or loose, and that'll make sure it maintains a nice even curves on everything. And your noise filter is basically the same thing, but it's doing it by pixels instead of tight and loose. And then the fading will just fade it. It's not a big deal. That's if you want to keep the bitmap in there. So yeah, we're gonna make this 8 pixels, and you can preview it. So you have the nice lines all around. You like it, apply. And now you just basically delete the bitmap, and now you have the curves. So that is a very nice feature, because it takes a lot of work to design all this by hand in here. All right, so the bitmap, and this one's dimensions. It basically just, you can show dimensions. You can add dimensions to certain things. That's just a simple thing if you want to print it out or something. And you've got your transform objects. I'm not going to go through all these, but move things, set object, set the sizes, all that kind of stuff, distort it. And then down here we have the edit objects section. This is just different cursor selectors. So this is move, scale, rotate, selection. This is just an editing. And then we've got grouping objects. So if I want to group these, you can do it by there, or you can right click, say ungroup or group, and now they're grouped together. They'll move with everything. And then ungroup. And then another useful feature is a measuring tool. And this you can measure between two certain points. So I want to measure from there to there. Gives my distance there, the angle, where it is on the XY grid, all that kind of stuff. Then we have weld vectors, because another thing, when you're in here, you have to make sure all the vectors join when you want them to create a complete, when you want them to make a complete circle or whatever you want them to do. Like this V here, you want all these to be welded basically together, all the ends attached together, or else it won't give a full enclosement of the V and it won't work properly with your machine, creating the toolpaths. So if you have, say if you had this and you had a couple of vectors along here that weren't selecting something, you'd select them all and then you'd say weld and it'll automatically bond them together. So now they create one like this V. It's not grouping it. Grouping is just holding them where they are. Welding them together is actually it's adding those both together and creating one vector. So you can't ungroup them then. Now they're one. And these are just different ways of doing it. So we've got star in the circle here, and you want to do the outside. It's gonna look like that. Or you can do just the one side, just the middle. So just different ways of doing it there. And then we've got our trim vector tool, and this can trim between points. So see right here, this and this both overline another vector right there, vector line. So we can trim the inside out, or we can trim the inside out here. It's basically a manual of doing the weld tool, because when you close this, it automatically welds them together. So see now that's all one. So you use that a lot. And then you've got converting corners to curves, and all these different things here. Fit curves, selective vectors, joining them. That's just another, basically welding them. But that'll join certain vectors together. Same thing as weld. And then, so with that, you just select all the vectors you wanted together. And you click that and put them all automatically together. Or with this, if you got, let's draw two lines here. If you got two lines like that, and you want a line to be drawn automatically between them both, you select them both, and you select one of these. It could be a straight line or a curve, or from the opposite ends, and automatically join them together. Or circle, basic. And then we've got offsets, array and nests down here. So I've got this. If I want an offset, another same shape inside this one, you do the offset. You select how much you want to offset. Say 0.2 of an inch. We're gonna do it inwards, or you can do both. Outwards, we're gonna do inwards. You can different options here, and offset. And see now I've got an exact identical replica of that, just shrunk down to fit inside the other one. And we've got copies. You can create different copies in a pattern. Same thing. Or if you created a circle like this, if it were a real circle, and you wanted the star to be placed at a certain amount of space all the way around the circle, you'd use this little copy objects along vectors, and that would put a star however far apart you wanted around the circle. And then nesting objects. So if you have a bunch of words, you want them to fit inside an area, least amount of possible waste, you'd use this. That's just anything. And that's the basic. So that's the basic things, operations and stuff on here. And then of course you got the behind the scenes operations. Not behind the scenes, they're just hidden. They're not in the main control panel here. And so if you go up to gadgets, we got different things. You can wrap things. And then you've got drag knife toolpaths and a couple different things. So if you have one of those drag knives, you want to run around to cut fabric or cut paper, you use this and it'll allow for the offsetting of the blade, etc. And then you've got your, so once you do this, if we wanted to create, let's go and delete all this. If we want to create toolpaths now, just going to resize some of the stuff, and I'll show you. So you can do any type of toolpaths on here. You can do V-carving toolpaths, which is a very calming, or you can do so you've got profile toolpaths, and that's just using an end mill bit to cut around something or inside of something. You got your pocket toolpath if you want to pocket, drilling different holes, engraving, V-carve, fluting, texturing. That's I like that one. Inlays and prism carving. So let's go ahead and select all these. You select all the direct vectors you want. We're going to do a V-carve, V-carving. I'm going to select our bits. So this is a tool database, which you can get to it going up here to toolpaths and do the tool database from there. And here you can select the type of bit I want. So see, I've got to the end mill bits, ball nose bits, V bits, engraving bits. So I'm going to do a 60-degree V bit. And when you add tools, you'll set in all the geometry and parameters and feeds and speeds and stuff. So see, I set this one. It's the Amana tool number 45733. So if I need a replacement, just look that number up. And then we've got the diameter of the actual bit. Yeah, it's the diameter of the actual shank of the bit. Yeah, sorry. That's the diameter of the widest part of the bit. So basically the biggest cutting capacity of that bit. And then you've got the angle. Angle is only for V bits. Of course, with milling bits, with mill bits and mill bits, you're going to have different parameters for here. You got your spindle speed, which I'm not positive if VCarve will actually work like that and actually set the RPM for you automatically if you have a variable speed router that's connected to your computer. I think it will. I'm just using a porta cable router, so it's got manual spindle speed, so I don't need that. But if someone's got one of those RPM variable speeds connected to the computer, they'd use that. You got your feed rate, plunge rate, and tool number. So just the basic stuff. So I'm doing a 60-degree V bit, and then you can set if you want a flat depth. So see here, if you want it flat depth at a certain part down, say you want a flat bit for flat depth at an 1/8 inch under the surface, you'd put this to an 1/8 inch. I'm not going to use that though. And all this over here is going to be used for when you're doing end mills and other stuff like that. It's not used for V carving. And then you can set the order by doing these, and it'll order it the way you selected them. And then it shows the basics down here. Safe Z is 0.2 inches, so it means between cutting where it needs to go up, where the bit needs to go up to get to a new letter or vector, it'll go 0.2 inches above the surface, move over, and then go back down. And that can be set up in somewhere around there. You'll be able to find it in preferences or options. So then you can name the toolpath, and calculate. And you can edit it if you want to. If you know how to edit G code and you want to add a specific script inside there, you can edit it from here, or you can duplicate it, delete it, recalculate it. Say if you move these numbers, or if you move the Covey Woodworks letters down, all you have to do is say recalculate, and it'll automatically recalculate it where it is now. And then you can get to your tool database right here, and then you can do templates. Save the toolpaths, summary of all the toolpaths, or preview. So if you've saved toolpaths, you select the toolpath, the processor you want, and then you'll just save them wherever you want it to go. And then they'll be ready for the machine from right there. So that's how you do creating toolpaths. Again, up here you can set the material. See, this is where you set sorry, here, clearance gap. It's set right here. Whenever it goes up or moves, this is how far it'll go up before it moves. So 2 is actually a little much. I usually like to be around 1. I should save that. This should always be 0. So this is the 0 points. When you set it, when you set the bit to surface or where the XY is going to be, it's going to do that surface, or you can create an offset. So wherever you set it, it's going to automatically set however much you want above that. So if you set it to the workpiece top and you want the Z to be actually automatically set 0.01 below that, or 0.1 below wherever you set it, you can set it here. You can set it on right here, and it'll automatically. So if you bring your bit to your surface of your workpiece, set it off. And in your 3D preview here, you have some little view options up here. That's the basics of it. We've got snap options, where if you want to automatically just snap to the side of a line or something, you can do all that here. We've got different views. Recalculate toolpaths is also up here. And so you've got a couple of more your operations up here. That's pretty much it. You've got your help up here. That's real nice. It's got a lot of info in the help section, and direct links to the Vectric support online and user forums. So that's basically it. You've got your saves and stuff. You can actually print what you're looking at. You can import vectors and bitmaps and stuff from here, or export them to EPS, DXF, AI, SF, SVG, and that's also what you can import. If you want to import vectors, you can import the EPS, DXF, AI, or SVG. And so that's pretty much it. That's quick overview of everything. If you want a specific tutorial to do something specific on here, just let me know. I can do something for you. But there's really too much in here to do a quick tutorial of everything. So that's just the basic stuff. Basic stuff you can do. So let me show you something. Just a couple projects that I did on here. So we've got this is one I created on here, and we got your 3D over here. Taking a little slow here. The computer's running a little slow. So one thing about the preview, sometimes it runs real fast, sometimes it run real slow, depending on what your computer's doing. This is one. This is a clock I made, which I have the tutorial up on my YouTube. And this was made completely on here using the Bitmap tracer to get the flower, and then getting all these spaced and stuff. That's all in a tutorial on another video. And this, preview all these. And this is using an inlay. So I have it set to have the color on here so I can see what it actually looks like, because in real life there's going to be wood inlaid inside these pockets. So that's so a lot of it's just experience, getting to be quick with all the operations, knowing where they are, knowing what to do. Once you get down, once you get that down, it's actually pretty easy to design something in here. It's rather, I haven't gotten the hang of actually creating a raw image from it, like if I wanted a tulip or a flower of some sort and I wanted to create it in here just from what I've got, not tracing the bitmap. I haven't quite learned that. It's pretty hard. I'm not sure if people really do that, but I know that would take a lot of time. So that's what makes the bitmap tracing a really nice feature in here. So that's it. Thanks for watching. If you have a specific tutorial that you would like to be seen, that you like to see me do, doing something specifically with VCarve Pro, just let me know. I'll be happy to help. So this is the version 7.5. It's the newest version currently. Not sure when they plan on coming out with the new one, but anyways, I love their products and would recommend it to everyone. They're a little pricey, but they're well worth it. VCarve Pro, like I said in the beginning, is $600. So as a beginning investment, it seems like a lot, but it pays for itself with its user-friendly features and stuff. So and like I said, if you're really wanting to get into it and want to be able to do the 3D stuff, you go with the Aspire version, and that has all the 3D capabilities with it, plus some more features with it. That's $2,600, I believe, somewhere around there. So that's a pretty big investment. I will be doing that eventually, but right now I'm just sticking with this. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something. And that's it.